Roman Reigns just got laid out, flat on his back, on his own show, by CM Punk, and nobody saw it coming. Let that sink in for a second. The man who called himself the Tribal Chief, the head of the table, the most dominant force in WWE history for the last 4 years, got dropped like a nobody in the middle of Monday Night Raw, in front of thousands of screaming fans, with the cameras rolling and the whole world watching. And the worst part? Roman couldn't do a single thing about it in that moment. Not one thing. CM Punk walked away standing tall, and Roman Reigns was left staring at the arena lights. If you're not furious right now, you're not paying attention, because what happened on Raw this week has completely shattered the power structure of WWE, and nobody in that locker room is going to forget it. Not Roman. Not Paul Heyman. Not Solo Sikoa. Nobody. So let's break this thing down, because there are layers to what went down that the cameras only half captured, and by the end of this video, you are going to fully understand exactly why this moment is either the greatest thing CM Punk has ever done or the most dangerous mistake of his entire career. Stay with me. This one's going to get nasty. The moment nobody was ready for. Raw was rolling along like a normal night. You had your usual segments, the matches building toward the next premium live event, the usual political maneuvering backstage being hinted at through promos. Nothing out of the ordinary. The crowd was into it, but it wasn't electric, not yet. Then Roman Reigns' music hit. Now anytime that theme plays, the entire energy of the arena shifts. You feel it. The crowd doesn't know whether to boo or just sit in stunned acknowledgement of greatness, because love him or hate him, Roman's presence commands a room. He walked out in that vest that lay around his neck, surrounded by the remnants of the bloodline in their current configuration, looking every bit like the man who owns Monday nights. He got in the ring. He grabbed the mic. He started doing what Roman does best, talking down to everyone, reminding the audience that he is the one, the only, the unquestioned face of WWE. The crowd was reacting. Things were building. Roman was in total control. And then CM Punk's music hit. The arena exploded. Because when those two energies collide, it is not a segment, it is an event. Punk strutted out to the stage, microphone already in hand, that signature smirk on his face like he already knew exactly how this was going to end. And he made his way down to the ring, and the verbal back and forth between these two was the kind of stuff that reminds you why professional wrestling, when it's done right, is the greatest entertainment on the planet. But then it happened. Nobody expected a physical confrontation right then and there. This was supposed to be a promo. A war of words. Two of the best talkers in WWE history going back and forth. But CM Punk, and this is the genius of the man, doesn't do what you expect. He never has. Not in Raw, not in ECW, not in his first run with WWE, not when he came back, and not now. Punk dropped the microphone, closed the distance in about 2 steps, and hit Roman Reigns with a GTS go to sleep that nobody in that building, nobody watching at home, and based on what we're hearing, nobody in the backstage area, saw coming. Roman went down. Hard. The thud of that big man hitting the canvas echoed through the entire arena. The place went absolutely insane. Half the crowd lost their mind in shock. The other half was already on their feet screaming. CM Punk stood over Roman Reigns, the same Roman Reigns who ran SmackDown for years, who beat everyone, who was literally unbeatable for stretches at a time, and pointed down at him with that ice-cold, calculating look on his face. Best in the world. He mouthed it. You could read his lips clear as day. And then he walked out. Why this was calculated and not impulsive. Now here's where I need you to really think with me, because a lot of people are going to watch this and say Punk just snapped, that he let his emotions get the better of him, that this was a hot-headed mistake. That is the wrong read. That is completely the wrong read. CM Punk does not do anything by accident. This is a man who has been in this business for over 2 decades. He has survived being blacklisted from WWE, has come back, has navigated locker room politics that would crush most people, and has remained one of the most talked about figures in wrestling whether he's working or not. When CM Punk makes a move, it is because he has already played out the next 5 moves in his head like a chess grandmaster. Think about the timing. Roman had just finished a promo where he was reasserting dominance. He was positioning himself as untouchable. And Punk walked down there and literally proved on live television that Roman is touchable, that he can be knocked down, that nobody is safe from the GTS, not even the Tribal Chief. Now here's the strategic element. By doing this on Raw, in front of that massive live audience, Punk has forced WWE's hand. He has created a story that cannot be ignored. You cannot have your biggest star get laid out on live television and then just move on to the next segment. This is now the story. Whatever was planned for the next premium live event just got reshuffled. Whatever political agreements had been made backstage about who was being protected and who was being featured, all of that is now in chaos. CM Punk just blew up the entire landscape of Raw with one move. One moment. And he did it knowing exactly what the consequences were going to be. The backstage attack, and this is where it gets dark. Now I have to talk about what happened after the cameras cut away, because this is the part of the story that is people genuinely shaken, not in a scripted way, but in that visceral, real feeling way that great wrestling always achieves when it's operating at its highest level. Word started spreading through the backstage area almost immediately after Punk's music hit and he disappeared through the curtain. According to multiple sources who were in the building, and this is the kind of information that filters out through the wrestling media community within hours of a taping, Roman Reigns was absolutely incensed backstage. Now let's be clear, Roman Reigns is a professional. He has been in this business long enough to understand the game. But there is a line between professional and personal, and what Punk did crossed that line, because this wasn't just a wrestling move. This was a statement. A declaration. Punk was saying to Roman, in front of the entire world, that the Tribal Chief's era of invincibility is over, that the head of the table can be put on his back, and Roman reportedly was not going to let that stand. The backstage confrontation happened in the hallway near the gorilla position, which is that area just behind the entrance stage where wrestlers wait before they go out. Roman, still in his gear, apparently caught up with Punk before Punk had fully cleared the building. And what followed was a confrontation so intense that multiple road agents, the veterans and former wrestlers who helped manage backstage traffic and keep the peace, had to physically get between them. There was shouting. There was real anger. Not the performed anger of a promo, not the worked emotion of a heated segment, actual, genuine heat between two men who respect each other enough to know that the other one is a real threat, and who are both operating at such a high competitive level that the line between performance and reality gets dangerously thin. Sources describe Roman as approaching Punk with intensity that went beyond professional frustration. This was personal. Roman reportedly told Punk, and I'm paraphrasing here because the exact words are still being pieced together from multiple accounts, that if Punk wants war, then war is exactly what he's going to get. Not the kind of war that gets booked in a meeting room. The other kind. Punk, to his credit or perhaps to his detriment depending on how this plays out, did not back down. Not even slightly. He reportedly looked Roman dead in the eyes and said something to the effect of, "I've been waiting for this." Both men were eventually separated. Neither one was physically harmed beyond what happened in the ring, but the tension that exists between them now is not going away. It is not being smoothed over in a production meeting. This thing is real, and it is building towards something that could be one of the most explosive collisions in recent WWE history. What this means for the Bloodline and Paul Heyman. Let's zoom out for a second and talk about the political implications within the WWE structure, because this doesn't just affect Roman and Punk as individuals. The Bloodline, as a faction, has gone through enormous change over the past couple of years. The original unit that ran SmackDown and dominated everything in sight has been fractured, rebuilt, and fractured again. Roman's relationship with Paul Heyman, the Wiseman, the advocate, the man who has been by Roman's side through the most dominant run of any performer in recent memory, is itself complicated and nuanced in ways that even the most dedicated wrestling fan is still trying to fully map. Now you introduce CM Punk into this equation, and suddenly Paul Heyman is in an almost impossible position. Because Heyman knows CM Punk perhaps better than almost anyone else in this industry. He has worked with Punk. He understands how Punk thinks, how Punk operates, how Punk strategizes. And that knowledge is terrifying, because if Heyman recognizes that Punk's attack on Roman was the opening move in a long game, then Paul knows exactly how dangerous the next few moves could be. For Solo Sikoa and the rest of the current Bloodline configuration, this is a problem of a different kind. Their entire identity is built around protecting Roman and projecting strength. CM Punk just demonstrated in the most public way possible that Roman is not invincible. That is a crack in the foundation. And once people see a crack, they start looking for more cracks. The comments section is already exploding, and here's why. I want to stop here for a second and address something directly, because I know you're feeling it right now. You either think what Punk did was the most incredible, gutsy, legendary power move in recent wrestling history, or you think Punk is a dead man walking who just wrote a check his body can't cash. And here's the thing, both of those opinions are valid. Both of them make for great television. Both of them are the reason we're all sitting here watching this unfold in real time. This is what great wrestling does. It makes you feel something. It makes you angry, or excited, or nervous, or all three at once. And right now, if you are not feeling at least one of those things about what CM Punk did to Roman Reigns on Raw, then I genuinely don't know what to tell you. Drop in the comments right now, are you with Punk or with Roman? Because this channel is about to become the place where this debate lives, and I want to hear every single opinion. Where this goes from here. The road forward is going to be ugly, and I mean that as the highest possible compliment. Roman Reigns is not going to absorb this humiliation quietly. The backstage attack was just the beginning, a preview of the fury that is coming in a much more structured, much more dangerous form once WWE officially programs these two against each other at a premium level event. CM Punk is going to keep pushing, because that's who he is. That's what he does. He finds the wound and he presses on it until either the other person breaks or until he himself gets destroyed in the attempt. And the fact that he's willing to do it to Roman Reigns, the most protected, most carefully built star in WWE over the past several years, tells you everything you need to know about where Punk's head is at right now. This is CM Punk at his most dangerous. Motivated, physical, fully committed, and with something to prove. And Roman Reigns, wounded and furious, is exactly the kind of opponent who will push Punk to his absolute limit. Buckle in, Ring Rumble 1 family. This is only the beginning. Smash that like button if you think CM Punk just made the boldest move in WWE in years. Share this with every wrestling fan you know. And subscribe because this story is moving fast and I'm not letting you miss a single second of it. Ring Rumble 1, where the real wrestling conversation